Yo, America, planet Earth, what's good? This is your boy Codell, and I'm back with another episode. Father's Gospel Podcast. We got Kyle back today. Today he is a floating head, but that floating head is full of incredible knowledge. So you guys are gonna want to make sure you tune in right now. Anyways, Kyle, what are we getting into today?
Today we're going to go through just the first initial steps, how people can, because a lot of them get afraid of the federal district court, and federal courts are a lot easier, I think. And plus, they just break it on down. They tell you what the acronyms are. They tell you where to go. And so we'll be using Washington State as an example, but this applies to all states. And so we'll just start from basically step one,
Okay.
how they can get it, what district or circuit district they're in. So then that way they can just go in there and start doing all their stuff. But for the little details, they can call one of us, I guess, or
Yeah.
call you to get a hold of me. And
Let's say I'm gonna send them your way.
yeah. So it's really simple. It's more straightforward, I think, than state court. State court's a mess.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing, you guys. And Kyle's going to break this down into really easy to understand language. So let's get going. All right. So, Kyle, we are starting off with.
Yeah. So the first thing to start off with is
where to go?
No, you just go back to the other one. Right. Okay. So the first thing we're going to start off with is just as how I did it with you. You're going to search the key terms. And this is however you search it, you put in the search bar. But if you look in the search bar, that's scroll up, please.
Okay.
So the keywords that you put in there were federal district circuit court map.
Right.
And so once you put it in there, then this popped up. And so if you scroll down, the first hit that came back was this. Please, for everybody, this is a lot easier, color coordinated.
So I'm gonna click on it real
quick.
Yeah.
Yep. You click on that. And then this breaks it down. So the overall map, this is what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, including Alaska, Guam, and Hawaii. Again, Puerto Rico, all of these 50 states plus all of the what do you call them?
This is a map of all the district courts.
Right. And all the districts, and everybody has to apply to this. So for instance, if you notice on here, starting over there at 1, you have Maine, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Maine, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, right up there on the top, number 1.
Yeah, so all these blue highlighted, you guys, with the one on it, these are all the same district court.
Yep, that's the first district. So that number indicator indicates, again, what district they're in, what circuit they're in. So anything that happens appeals wise, Supreme Court wise, where you file, it has to be. I mean, you can't be.
This is how you find it.
Yep, absolutely. You just do 1, 2, 3, first district, second district, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all the way up.
So, for example, you guys, all this highlighted in yellow, 9th District Court. So here in Washington, 9th Circuit. Thank you. Yeah, 9th Circuit Court. So it's that easy, right?
And then if you do what people do, if you're one of those numbers nerds, then there's 94 districts within all of the 50 states plus its territories.
Okay.
So there's 94 districts, and then those are broken up into what circuits. So that pretty much that whole West Coast is the 9th Circuit.
Okay.
With that thing.
And then there's districts within the circuit. So you need to find your specific district.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So they already pulled one up right here. And this is the 4th district, I believe.
Okay.
I think if you scroll down a little bit more, it might say 4th district. If it's your toolbar's in the way. Anyway.
Let me move that. There we go.
Oh, Fifth Circuit. Yeah. So this is the 5th Circuit. So what happens is a 5th Circuit contains obviously these states, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Like within each one of those, people might have, let's say they're a great example of this is they're in, like for instance, right here, they're in Victoria, Texas.
Okay.
Corpus Christi, in that area. Or they're small towns in between or just outside of like McAllen or Laredo or something like that. They're trying to figure out where do I file? Do I have to file in Abilene?
Right.
Or do I have to, where do I file? Well, then you just go to it, and it's broken down like this. You can find it under that
So,
maps thing.
so like this right here, you guys. So it says B, right? And
Mhm.
see how this little graph goes around all this? All these little red dots within this little circled area, I guess you want to call it. These are all the little red dots are here in the B spot. So what
Yeah.
would I refer? That's a district, right?
Right.
Okay.
So from El Paso, and you can see the dotted line,
Yeah.
the designator right there at the top, all the way down over to damn near Tyler, Texas. That's all of B or Bravo.
Okay.
And so you're looking for what district that is. Well, it's corresponding letter down there. B, here in the Western District of Texas.
Right. So yeah, see that you guys right there. So B Western District, A Northern. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then so and again, another state that's in that circuit, within that Fifth Circuit court, if they're saying, "Well, I don't understand. Am I in, Fourth Circuit or Third Circuit or Fifth Circuit? Where am I at?" So you find that on your overall map, and then you even break it down, and you find within that circuit what covers those cities within
Okay.
that circuit.
Yeah.
And so, like for like this one, Lafayette's in E district, or E,
Right.
and that's a Western District of Louisiana. So there's like a distinguishing thing. What part of the state it is, Eastern, Western, and then what part of the whole circuit it is of what state. So that's why
Okay.
it's key that you say differentiate from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Okay.
But that you'll overall that example is in the Fifth Circuit.
So yeah,
Just
you
as it
guys
shows down there. See Texas, or scroll up.
up. Okay.
Yep, in that brown or whatever that
So that's
crappy color.
all fifth.
Yep, all fifth.
Okay.
And
So
don't again, these are not silly or stupid questions. And that's what I got to explain to our viewers. The only silly or stupid question is the one that you don't ask.
right,
But
right,
obviously don't be, dumb.
right,
There's a point of being dumb with the questions. But
right.
again, so like fifth and seventh, they almost look like similar colors. That does not mean that they're together.
No, I mean this is a
Don't
little
get
bit of
that
a lighter
confused.
brown.
Yeah.
So fifth, you got Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Those
Right.
are all in the fifth district, you guys.
Yep. In the
So-
Fifth Circuit. Yep.
So this makes it really easy, you guys. All you got to do is click on the website is www.ib5.uscourts.gov. That'll bring this map up, and you can easily find your circuit court, and then from there you can find the district that you're in. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It just breaks it down. It's really, I mean, just like the thing says, the DOJ, it says right there, Civics Education Project, so it just pops it up, maps of U.S. Courts of Appeals and district courts.
Right.
And so all of those things in there. So, and again, districts are much more numerous,
Okay.
and appeals are just one appeal. So like you have, let's just say, throwing out a number, let's say 15 district courts, and whatever. Obviously there's more you can see down there. I'm not going to count all the red dots,
Right.
but all of those are the major cities, obviously. But within, let's say, take for instance, A, B, and C and D of those things, there's plenty of district courts in there. There might be 15 district courts in there.
Okay.
And then there might be another 10 in Louisiana and another 5 in Mississippi. However, all of those together still have one circuit court of appeals, and that would be the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals.
So that's important to know then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then but then again, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, you may have a case out of Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
But the place that they have hold court could be in Texas.
Oh,
but it still covers that Fifth Circuit. So that's how it's broken down. So
Okay.
it's not, excuse me, it's not a bureaucracy, and it's not bloat. It's just that's the way it is, because they had to split it up in those regions for that.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is how you find it, guys. Go to this website right here. Yeah. And again, if you want to see it, I'll just click back real quick. Maps of U.S. Courts of Appeals and Districts. So yeah,
those are better keywords, I think, probably.
Right. And I don't use Google. I'm using DuckDuckGo. That's a search engine. You use Google, just type in Federal District Circuit Court map. It'll bring it right up. Okay. Right. So we got that covered.
Yep.
What are we jumping into next?
Okay. So for our instance, in our case, what we'll do living here in Washington State.
Right.
So what happens is like the Eastern District of Washington is our federal district court, and it covers as just as the people can see. So you have Spokane there, you have Yakima, and it should be like Tri-Cities or in that area. Let's see what the next one, what Richland. Okay, so that's going to cover
Eastern Washington.
yeah, pretty much Eastern Washington. So anything east of the Cascades for a barrier, a landmark barrier, is going to cover where you file at. So if, say, for instance, let's say you're in Royal City, right?
Uh-huh.
Royal City is probably going to file in Yakima Court
Okay.
because they're close. Well, Richland in that area because there's a federal district court there.
Okay.
And then, for instance, let's see, Yakima. Let's say you're in Ellensburg. Ellensburg is going to file in Yakima's federal district court.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that per se, just because you file in Ellensburg,
Yeah.
if your initial step, if that's where it is, that means that you have to travel to that court.
Okay.
If you go beyond that and it becomes an appeals issue,
Right.
then it's going to go to the overall thing, and the appeals court headquarters is in San Francisco, California.
Oh,
For
okay.
all of those western states.
Okay.
But what we'll just do right now is focus on what your district court and where you go in this website. And then
Okay.
for the keywords for that is you just file or just say, I believe, what did we use for the keywords on this one?
You want to click back
let's
real
go back.
quick? You're talking about for the search engine.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So this one for me and you, like how I just walked you through it, that's all we did. We typed in Spokane Federal District Courts.
Boom.
Or,
that took
again,
us right here, guys.
Right.
That's the website that we were just on.
Right. Again, if you're somewhere else, put whatever major cities close by to you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So if you're closer to Yakima, or if you're closer to Richland, or you're closer to Spokane, and then by all means, if you're still unsure, then what I would do is I would call those county or the court clerks of that district that you think's close by.
Okay.
Sometimes you might be riding the territory line.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that you're filing in the correct district court, because each district court, which is kind of, it's, I don't know, they have their own kind of forms as we get in there. But what happens is you may think that you're filing in Spokane,
Okay.
and it's not convenient or the right avenue for those parties. They'll still take it, but they'll look it over and they'll kick it back to you though, and they'll say, hey, you can't, you shouldn't be filing this here. You should file this over in Yakima.
So yeah, you guys want to figure that out, so you're not wasting that time in
Right. Yeah. Because eventually, you know what I mean? The first time you do it, you're going to have to sit there and hand walk that in there.
Yeah. So if you're unsure, just call the courthouse or whatever to confirm, and save yourself some time. Okay. Yeah. So is there anything else we want to cover?
No, once you get with those words, go forward. Yeah. Okay. So you did that. So once it typed in, came up Spokane Eastern District, you clicked on that, and it brought us to here, the Eastern District of Washington. So the next thing you're going to click on is representing yourself.
Okay. So I'm clicking on that, you guys.
And then you'd see you have these 8 icons right here, these 8 icons within the page. And this is for Spokane. So each, as you see it, when we contrast the other ones we go to, but this is how Spokane's set up. Okay. I don't think Spokane's is set up all that user friendly.
No.
When you see what we do in Western District, but this is for Eastern District of Washington. So they have these 8 icons, and then you're going to go through, and what you do, what I suggest everybody do if you're in this close by Spokane, is you go ahead and click on every one of those things. But for the sake of our show today, I'm going to show you exactly where to go so that you don't have to Easter egg hunt like I did.
Which one do you want me to click on?
Go ahead to civil forms.
Civil forms. Okay. Yep.
So civil forms right here, as you scroll through them, it's not extremely helpful, but again, this is the website builder that's at Spokane or had Spokane stuff. So they have civil and criminal stuff lumped into together. And when you're going to do what's going to pertain to fathers, what we're trying to do as far as like when they bring stuff from, and again, I suggest stay out of state court and go straight to federal court with these things, because there's issues like due process and jurisdiction. When federal and state go at it, federal always supersedes state law.
Yeah.
So that's why I suggest doing that. So when you get here to that point and you have the civil forms, be sure, don't just sit there and blow through it. You know, you've got to read each one. See, look, for instance, acknowledgement of scroll up,
Okay.
acknowledgement of notice of rights, criminal complaint. Well, you're not doing a criminal complaint unless you're doing,
Let me ask you this. So if you're a dad in the family courts, you feel like you're getting screwed or whatever, which one do they want to
they
go
just want
after?
exactly civil.
Civil, okay.
Just stick with civil. And again, those court clerks are there.
And where would that be? So like,
So for this one, you're gonna pro se packet PDF.
okay.
See, again, stop right there. But see, just above that, you see pro se motion. Oh, yeah, I'll click on that. No. I'm trying to cut your time off and do all that stuff. You can look at those things later and see if it pertains to your case and if you need to do that.
Yeah.
And you're doing your stuff pro se, then go ahead and do that. But what I'm trying to do is cut down the research time for you,
Right.
and that you have to go through. But go ahead and click on that pro se packet PDF.
Yeah, because this gives you like all just the actual files you need, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
How they want it in that district. So boom, this comes up and it gives you step by step filing fees in form of pauperis. Again, and for you people, in form of pauperis means just indigent. So you're gonna file those out. Regardless, everybody needs to fill out that in form of pauperis. You don't determine there's a determination of salary. If somebody's making $100,000 a year, they're probably not going to get
Right.
in form of pauperis. However, they may get in form of pauperis if their expenses are for dealing with 4, 5, 6 people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So don't cut yourself off like that. Fill that stuff out and make them tell you no and justify why you did it.
So this is step by step, you guys.
Yep.
Easy. It's all laid out here for you. Okay. So anything else we want to cover on this, or do we want to move to the next website?
Yeah, well, we'll back out of this one once again. So again, this is the first thing that you're going to do for a civil complaint, and you need to pay attention to whether it's civil or criminal complaint. A civil complaint, this is the one you have to have, and it's a total of 15 pages. And so it shows all of the things that you have to. It's basically who, what, where, when, and why. Why are you doing all this stuff?
Okay.
Who did it to you? When did they do it? What happened? And so,
and it's laid out
breaks
pretty
it down.
easy. And you guys, I mean, click on, do you demand a jury?
Always,
that stuff.
yeah, always. Do
Right.
a jury demand? Yes. Do not leave it in the hands of a judge.
No.
Because if you do that, you're going to get screwed.
Okay. So we got the pro se filing thing. All right. Do anything else we want to cover?
Just back out of that one if you want.
Okay.
Again, that one's for Spokane. And you have that again, the civil forms, you go through that and read each one. Don't just blow through it and say, oh, this is the one I want to click on it.
Yeah.
You're going to waste 5 minutes there, 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I understand, guys, you wanted to blow through it because it's just like, it can be stressful, frustrating, but just take a deep breath, relax, and start reading, and you'll settle in and you'll be okay. So, all right. So am I good to click to the next website?
Yeah. Back out of that actually.
Okay.
So we'll go to that we had. So again, explore each one of these things. You're not going to know what it is. Does jury instructions really pertain to you? No, it doesn't. But it'll give you down there, as you see, like sample civil complaints, pro se packet. Once you start getting into there and you start thinking about things, then if they still have a question, again, get a hold of one of us and we'll talk you through it. This is what you need to put here and this is what you need to put there.
And you guys, I'm going to put the links to all these forms in the description box, so you can literally just click on them and download all these PDF files.
Yeah,
real quick.
This is not a helpful. This one's not as helpful as Eastern District, but I suggest that you still get that form and then you compare it to the one that we're about ready to roll into now.
So they want to start off with civil forms.
Yep,
they're
absolutely.
on here, and then if they happen to be pro se, they obviously want to jump into
Yeah.
here. And, okay,
Yep.
okay. So anything else?
But
with this
familiarize yourself with all of that stuff so that you know what you're talking about when you go in there, because you don't want them just to blow you off and say that knowledge is power, and if you have what to do, somewhat they're going to say, okay, we're going to help this person because this person is helping themselves.
Right, right. And you guys, honestly, I recommend if you're not doing it yet, it'll help with your research. It doesn't mean you don't need to double check the information, but start utilizing things like Chat GPT, Grok, these other AI apps, because they really will just help you sift through all this information a lot quicker. So, okay, so we got that.
Yeah, we can back out. We can just get out. done
Okay.
with that. That's
We did
Eastern. So
this.
all we did, again, I told Cody, put it Seattle Federal District Court. That's all you did.
Boom.
Just put in front of whatever city you're from, just put whatever district court, and it's going to shuttle you to the correct
And the
district court.
first thing that came up was the official website. It's
There you
right
go.
there. So I'm gonna
That's the
click
one you're
on
going to
it.
file. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll click on that, click on, and then this is the main page, their website. And then
Okay.
you look at those bars. Obviously you're representing yourself, which is pro se. So you're going to click on that.
Okay.
And boom, this is a much detailed and involved thing for representing yourself, and it gives you,
So would they want to go to this pro se guide?
well, just as it says, just start from step one, crawl, walk, run, crawl, walk, run.
Right.
That's what you always say.
So here it is, you guys. Is a PDF file for Pro Se Guide. If you happen to be representing yourself, it has everything broken down step by step for you. I mean, again, just easy, a lot of reading, but it explains it pretty well. Okay. So what else do we want to cover?
Reading, you know what? My kids mean more to me than reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
If if you're getting your civil rights taken from you, you know what I mean? You can't put a price tag on that stuff.
No.
So, it's better to go in there armed with this knowledge.
Yep.
So this is something that myself and I helped Cody and helped myself with, but I was going through that proverbial brick wall, and I wished it was set up like this on the Eastern District Court. So now I'm using both of these, and the only thing I'm doing is what I'm doing is just backing out. Instead of Western District Court for Washington, I'm putting Eastern District Court of Washington. But other than that, the forms still remain the same.
Right. Again, and we'll have those forms in the PDF file, so you guys can just download them. All you got to do is just change the district, and that's it. And
whatever
and put in your information in regards to your case. So
Yep.
okay.
So back out of that one real quick, please.
All right.
And when you click on those hyperlinks, it's going to tell it, just like it says, how to e-file, order a transcript. You click on those things, and it's going to redirect you within their website on how to do these things. You know what I mean? And again, I think with the exception of common legal terms, there's not. I think it says, the website's down or something like that.
Let me ask you this real quick. Okay, so you got the Eastern website, the Western website for the court. So I would say then, if they want to get like all these forms, make sure they go to the Western website, because the PDF files.
It seems like they're more well put together, and whoever did it up actually have the template. So scroll up. If you scroll up.
That's because they're keeping all the money over there.
So scroll down a little bit. Excuse me. So right there, and this is the key thing that I have to stress upon you. For any district, for anything that you have, you need to make sure that you go in and right there it says filers are expected to be familiar with the following: the federal rules, which are the federal rules of civil procedure, and the local rules with that. Everybody's saying, well, why do we have to do this? And I agree with you. I agree with you that why, if we already have federal rules of civil procedure, why the hell do we need local rules?
Right.
At this point in time, I can't get a straight answer on it, other than, what makes it organic. I don't understand. East and west of Washington, or East Coast and West Coast. Why, whatever it is, different factors. I think on the East Coast than it is West Coast. I don't know.
Sounds like bureaucracy to me.
Yeah. So whatever pertains to that. But
okay.
For instance, and then if it's just below that, you see it is strongly encouraged that you review and use the template forms for pro se filers. So boom, this is kind of what the same thing was in the Eastern District Court. So you have these templates, and what we'll get into. So now whether you get into it, you want to do Word or PDF, it's already got it for you. So whoever the website builder was on the Western District was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so you keep this stuff. But again, folks, you need to start getting into this stuff and start downloading hard copies and printing them off, because eventually, if there's probably going to get so much traffic that they're going to start, quite honestly, they'll probably start pulling some of these things off and say, hey, we got to stop giving them the tools
Right.
to beat us in court.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, somebody's going to complain about it.
Yeah.
It's too much of a good thing. They'll start pulling this crap. So
Right.
make sure you have these things. But anyway, so for instance, again, we're just going to deal specifically with civil cases because that's how it is. So like you're having complaint, your civil case basic Word or PDF. So go ahead and click on that PDF for me if you.
Yep. All right.
Boom, comes up.
And this is what I was
Look
talking
at-
about, you guys. It's all
magical.
blank. Yeah. Yeah.
Magical. You don't have to sit there and sift or buy a program for $200 to go in there and do this stuff. It's right here.
Right.
It's Barney style.
I mean, look, you guys, I click it, it checks it. I mean, it's that easy to use.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And obviously you're the plaintiff and you're going to do that. You're the plaintiff versus whoever the defendants are. And as you see this is going to be a key thing. So you're always going to have your last address. That way you can get all of this stuff, and we'll get into the electronic court filing crap later, but you need a hard physical address
Okay.
for that there.
Yeah.
Unless, like for example, a street address, you have a PO box, but generally they want a street address. So that way they make sure it's filed in the right district.
Okay.
So if you scroll down for me, please.
Yes, sir.
So now this one's going to be a little bit different than the one we show you. So those defendants, you gotta know close to what they are. So for instance, in my case, so I sued the Yakima Nation,
Right.
and I just put an overall street address for them. The best of the best.
So
of
like
their,
the address of their organization.
the address of the organization.
Okay.
You do not want to do the address of that individual, which we'll get into later on, because they're an official, but they're still an individual. But again, individual in that official capacity, they made these rulings.
So if we are like, let's say we're suing a judge or whatever, then
Mhm.
we'd want to put the address of the courthouse at
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That
Okay.
they were at. So
Gotcha.
for instance, like if you're suing High Edwards,
Yeah.
High Edward you're suing her. You're not suing her on the individual portion of that stuff. You will, but eventually you're
Right.
suing her in her official capacity.
Yeah.
So you're doing it in her official capacity as a judge. So you put, Jacqueline High Edwards, her job title, and you just put your judge,
Yeah. Yeah.
Superior Court judge. Your street address is going to be the street address of the court
Right.
there.
Okay.
It's not her home address. and things
Okay.
like that.
So yeah, it's all here, you guys, laid out, easy to fill out.
Yep. See, and then even right there, basis for jurisdiction, and it explains it Barney style, so that when you file that and you give that back to the judge of the district court, they're going to have all that stuff. But again, you got check mark boxes down there.
Yeah, and which they want to check the federal,
Yep,
right?
federal
Okay.
question. So the
Yes.
federal question, again, mine is an example, is I don't have to worry about citizenship. Nobody should, that's dealing with, just think of it this way. Diversity of citizenship is going to deal basically with immigration.
Okay, that's yeah.
So,
So don't worry about that, you guys.
for right now.
Right, right.
For what we're doing, you're always going to want to check that federal question box right there.
Okay. Yeah.
So you check that, and then boom. This again, before we go forward, this is going to be the same thing, similar to that one that we had in Eastern District Court, that 15-page thing.
Right, right, right.
They just look different, but take a look at it and see which one that you like.
Okay.
But just make sure that you change the heading of the thing, whether it's Western or Eastern District. If you like the Eastern District version, but you're in the Western part, well, then just
Swap it out.
Swap it out.
Yeah.
Change from Eastern to Western, or vice versa.
And you can do that with these PDF files very easy, you guys.
Yeah, you can change those things like that. But the rest of the stuff, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sweet. You
So-
just have to fill in the blank.
Right. So okay. Now let me ask you this, Kyle. Why are we telling the people this information right now?
Because it's overwhelming to people. So
Right.
it's overwhelming for them. They don't have to, it cuts down dramatically on your time.
Right.
So then you don't have to sit there and buy a program to get court stuff. You don't have to buy a program. This is stuff that's provided by the federal court.
Well,
They're giving this to you. They're handing you this gift saying you don't have to format and do anything and create this whole new page and then go through and do that, which takes up a lot of time to do that.
well, and I'm you'll probably agree with me on this. Like, I'm hoping with this video, this will kind of take some stress off you dads and moms out there, and also encourage you to start moving forward with in the federal realm. Like, and so, but anyways,
Right. And even say for this instance, like the amount in controversy, one thing that I'll stop and tell everybody is like, how much are your civil rights? Can you place a dollar amount on your civil rights? No.
Right. No.
Go back to the time that this started till now, and then figure out the intentional affliction of emotional distress. Always think about that. That's like pain and suffering.
Yeah.
It's the same word. It's just all dressed up in that statement. Intentional infliction of emotional distress
Okay.
for your children.
Yeah.
So you have that, and you're just going to go down and go through this. So let's go down to what was it? Pro se guide to filing your lawsuit in federal court.
Where's that? Oh, right.
Nope. Pro se guide to
there we go. Okay.
Boom. Look at that. Civil cover sheet. It tells you you're going to have a civil cover sheet, and it Barney style again. Boom. This is what you're
Plaintiff,
going to
your name. Yeah. Names of defendant. It's you guys, it's so simplified. So, and that's why we're making this video right now. We're trying to show you that this is a lot easier and less intimidating than you think. So,
It absolutely is. And the Eastern District is not as user friendly. That's why I said, take the Western District, look inside your own districts within that state, your federal court, and see their websites.
Right.
And then pick and choose. The only thing you have to worry about is making sure that it's got the right Western or Eastern District part of it.
Okay.
So this is good.
This is good, you guys. We got all these files here for you. Kyle, I think we should wrap this up right now. We got the information out to the people. You guys, we're going to be putting more videos out with this type of information, but please make sure that you watch this video and you share this video because, this is good information and we need to start pushing back. So,
and it has all those, again, it has those hyperlinks in there. This one, we focused on the state of Washington because where we live, but this is for every state and every province and every territory within the United States.
Yeah.
You just have to go to your state, you do this, and you go to whatever respective federal district court is close by to you, and then they're going to have this stuff.
Yeah.
Westerns is a lot better than Easterns, but hey, whatever, you still can pick and choose, cherry pick. Hey, I want this.
Okay.
And it's solid.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. This is stuff that they're using to give to you.
Yeah.
So, in later videos and how-to videos that we can do or discuss on this.
And we will be diving deeper into this stuff.
Absolutely.
So, but anyways, you guys, that's what we got for you today. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you all next episode.
Good luck.
Bless.